have assignments in each of their classes, which they work diligently on through all hours of the night. By the end of 4 years, they have a lot of projects and assignments and skills. And when they go to apply for a job, they want to show employers what they know. Likewise, employers, when students come in to apply for a job, want to see that the students who are applying have the skills they need to succeed in the job. Every student who comes in and applies has a degree on their resume or some sort of qualification. But without being able to see projects which demonstrate the skills, it's hard to differentiate between candidates and choose which one is the best for the position. Because of this, both students and employers have turned to e-portfolios to show what they know and not just have a line on their degree or take applicants at face value. E-portfolios depend on the individual, what they're trying to show. Anybody can have an e-portfolio, from writers to photographers to coders. Anyone who has projects they want to show can put them on a website in a format and then share that with an employer. Anyone who has an e-portfolio has an advantage over those who don't for this reason. 83% of employers say that e-portfolios are valuable in the hiring process. Again, this means that people who come in with an e-portfolio, instead of just a resume, have an advantage. And e-portfolios are better in a lot of cases than just a resume alone, especially for these three groups of people. First, traditional students. Again, traditional students, they come in and they may have a degree or say that they've studied something for 4 years, but it's really the projects and the real-world experiences and their reflections on those experiences and projects which prove to employers that they know what they're doing and will be competent employees that should be hired. Another group of people who are significantly benefiting from e-portfolios are non-traditional students who might not have a 4-year degree. In a lot of fields, such as computer programming, individuals are using the plethora of resources on the internet to teach themselves the skills that they need for a job. And these individuals don't have a 4-year degree or formal credential, but they have the same skills that somebody who went to a 4-year university might have. And these individuals need e-portfolios in order to show the projects that they've worked on, in order to get hired and catch employers' attention. And then the third group of people who are benefiting from e-portfolios, in addition to traditional resumes, are people who are already in the workforce because they've done work in a company, and they have projects, and they have actual work that they can show. And just listing work experience or a couple of bullet points doesn't fully capture the essence of the value they've provided to the company that they've been working for. The problem is that creating a professional-looking e-portfolio is extremely difficult and time-consuming. Basically, if you want to create an e-portfolio right now, you have to go onto a website building tool and design your own website. You have to select all the different tabs and input all the information and drag stuff around and format it and worry about the fonts and the colors and where everything is and if there's broken links in your site. And it takes hours and hours and it's so difficult to do and make look good that most people just give up and don't have an e-portfolio and just stick with the traditional resume. Case in point here is a software called Digication, which actually Salt Lake Community College uses. Salt Lake Community College has a mandatory e-portfolio requirement, and they basically make every single student update an e-portfolio with each of their classes to show that the work that they've done and then share that work with potential employers because they see the value of having e-portfolios and the value that can bring to students as they're trying to get hired. Everyone who goes there absolutely hates updating these e-portfolios at the end of the semester. They see the value which an e-portfolio can provide, but when there's finals and papers and things to work on, they don't have time to sit there and set up an entire website on their own, even using this tool. It's very hard to work with, very hard to make look good, and it's not something that after you put the information on that you'd want to share with an employer. And again, this is education. This is Salt Lake Community College we're talking about. There's community colleges all across the nation who are paying for education and other e-portfolio softwares which aren't easy to use and allowing students to show what they know in a visually appealing Portfolify comes in. Portfolify makes showcasing your skills fast and easy through a drag and drop interface. Let me explain how it works. First, users pick a template. They choose different domains, what they want to show. The e-portfolio of a coder will be very different than the e-portfolio of a writer or a photographer. And the types of media which they'll need to import into their e-portfolio will be different. And so by allowing users to select a template, that will already preload some of the fields which they'll most likely need. After the user has selected a template, they'll be able to add and remove fields of different types, depending on what they want to show in their e-portfolio. For example, code, or text, or audio, or video, whatever multimedia they need to incorporate to tell their story, show their skills, and show their work. The third step is filling out these fields. Depending on the type of field, you can upload files from your computer, as well as other third parties that would be integrated with the software. So this could be GitHub, this could be Google Drive, this could be YouTube, making it really easy to bring everything from different places onto your e-portfolio. And then also just text fields with a basic text editor so that people can type text to describe their projects and the different components of them. And then finally, ePortfolio can compile all of these different media components into a visually appealing manner, which can be shared. And it can be shared with an employer using just a QR code or a link that was put on the resume. So when they look at your resume, they can take out their phone and scan a QR code and see all of the multimedia and all of your projects in addition to just your basic resume. The target markets for this product, there's actually two of them I'd like to discuss. First are educational institutions. Salt Lake Community College and other colleges across the U.S. are starting to adopt e-portfolio building technologies, but it's still very much in its infancy, and there's a lot of growth which could occur by selling directly to educational organizations, because students who do have these e-portfolios do have an advantage in the hiring process, and colleges are looking to support students in any way that they can. And I see this as an excellent way of selling and subscriptions to this service through organizational licenses. And then the second target market for Portfolify are individuals. Individuals are purchasing their own websites to try and build their own e-portfolios and going through the process of making them, but again are struggling with these difficulties, making them look professional and clean, getting everything they need integrated into one site, and all the pain points which I've mentioned. And there would be a free version of Portfolify to get people to try it, but for full featured access, it would be a monthly subscription to Portfolify in order to use the service. Portfolify. By showing your skills, you can showcase yourself and get that dream job that you've always wanted, because you've worked hard to study and to learn, and you deserve to show your skills and have employers see them. Are there any questions I can answer?
Do you have any plans to bring this to the University of Utah anytime soon?
I would absolutely love to, because I think this is something that a lot of students at the U would benefit from, being able to create an e-portfolio to show off all the great work that they're doing.
What is the advantage of Portfolify compared to traditional website builders like Wix and Weebly?
Yes, it's specifically designed for building portfolios. Instead of, with a normal website builder, you kind of carte blanche can build any sort of website you want. This Portfolify has a very constrained interface, which makes it easy just to add different types of fields through dragging and dropping, and then also just selecting which fields you want and how many of them, and then ordering them. And it handles all of the formatting for you. It handles all of the theming and the colors, and then it handles having it hosted on the site so that you don't have to get a host for your site. And then also the sharing elements of it, the link to it, and then the QR code to make sharing with your employer easier. These are all features which make Portfolify different from its competitors, and definitely more specialized for making an e-portfolio instead of creating any number of websites.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Then please give it up for Portfolify.